Hello everyone and welcome to this April 6th Libra full moon reading. And as always with full moons, it's releasing time. It's time to let things come out in the open, and it's time to have a closer look at what has been hidden to us and what has been left in our subconsciousness. And now we are ready to take all that in. It's integration time, and this time we will have the full moon in Libra. Libra is the zodiac sign that we find in the 7th house, where we also have the planet, ruling planet of Venus. So Libra is all about keeping the harmony, the balance. Here we just want to make sure that people are having a good time. And we are ready just to walk all over ourselves, just to keep up that good ambience, to keep up the good relationships that we find in the 7th house, which is about all our relationships, family, friends, co-workers, our boss, and so on. So we want to do everything we possibly can here to keep the good vibes going. And this is where we also like to see everything, to see a specific cause from every angle. So Libra never makes a decision before it's absolutely ready, before it has looked at every detail in the specific case. So when it makes a decision, it's very firm, it knows what it's doing. We have the lawyer, the judge energies moving here. So Libra is very good at looking at everything from every angle, from every aspect. So Libra is coming, Venus is coming in here actually to make sure that we do not walk all over ourselves, or that we do not let our relationships take over, that we always ask ourselves, are my needs being met here? Do I feel self-esteem around these people? Am I being heard? Am I in complete balance with my relationships? Because if not, Venus is also here to remind us that it's not okay to let people walk all over us, because Venus is also about our self-esteem and our self-sustainability in the long run. So she's also here to remind us of love and harmony, and love for ourselves, love to ourselves, and that we also keep an eye on our own needs and where we want to go in the future. So with this full moon, it's time to ask ourselves, do we feel at home, since the moon is representing the home, our safety space, our security? Do we feel safe and secure in these relationships, or is it time to move on? Is it time to have a chat, to have a talk about what's going on, because maybe we do not feel heard, we do not feel that our needs are being met. And also here we have, like I mentioned before, the 7th house. So we also have the descendant here in the natal chart. Now the first house would be the opposite house of the 7th house. And here we find the sister sign of Libra, and that would be Aries, where we have the sun right now. So in the 7th house, we are getting a lot of response to our actions, to our behavior, to our attitudes towards this and that. So really right now, the spotlight is on how we are being received in our relationships, and how well we feel that we are being heard, that we are being seen, that we are being loved. If not, maybe it's time to have that chat. Since we're in an air zodiac sign, it's about being social, it's about meeting a lot of people, having a lot of dialogues, a lot of discussions. So maybe it is time to have that talk. Anyways, however it may play out for us on an individual level, no matter where we are right now, there is a general spotlight on relationships here. And Libra is a fast-moving sign. It is a masculine energy. It is forward-moving, outgoing, but on a mental level. Okay, so it's all about what's going on within us. How do we speak to ourselves? How do we speak to each other? It's about communication, also perhaps both through speaking and writing. So with that being said, let's have a look at what cosmic groups or cosmic energies are coming in during this full moon to present their assistance. And let's see what's coming out. And I hope, of course, that all of you are well out there. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for subscribing, sharing, and liking. And do not hesitate to put a comment down below if there is something here that resonates with you, or if you have any questions, or if you have maybe a specific theme that you would like me to do a video on. Perhaps something is going on that you have noticed, that you would just, on the world stage. Since the readings I do here are, of course, general. But if there's anything out there that you would like to know more about, do not hesitate to contact me. And I would be pleased to make a video on that specific topic or issue. So let's see what's coming out here. Do we have any cards, cosmic groups presenting themselves? What is coming out here? Okay. We have 3 cards, and I will just have to pick the first card up. So, okay. So the first card we have out here is card number 33. Remember to go with the cards wherever you feel that they are leading you, because that could be a personal message just for you. So just go with what resonates 100%. Of course, this is a general reading for the collective, both nationally. I'm placed in Denmark, but also internationally. Okay, so here we have card number 33, the Merkaba, the 8-pointed star here. So this is a very much underlining, I feel, the energies of Libra, which is very good at looking at every having a look at every angle of a specific issue going on. So this is talking about movement, long distance travel, and excitement. So having a look at all angles in our lives right now, with these relationships going on. It could be that maybe we are getting into contact with someone far away, people showing up from the past, maybe, since we have the moon here. It is about our past lives. It is about the past in general. It is also about our routines in life and our inner wild nature, the truth within ourselves, and also to be able to see how everything is really interconnected, to see the truth of it all, to dive deeper, to dive into ourselves on a very deep level, where we receive very deep emotional responses. Okay, this is not, the moon is representing the side of us that we do not share with people on an everyday life basis. Here we are extremely sensitive. We only share with those who really mean a lot to us. Okay, so there could be something here about the past coming forth again, coming back to us, because there's a lot of movement during this full moon, where we are seeing every side of a specific topic. We're seeing every angle, and it's like things are coming into balance, things are coming into justice. A very exciting time where anything can happen. Actually, everything is open, everything is up in the air, since we have the air element represented here. So everything is out in the open, anything can happen. And that could be a lot of movement. We are meeting a lot of people. We are really coming into many social events here. We are talking to a lot of people. We're having many dialogues. And it could just mean an exciting time. So let's have a look at the other 2 cards that were coming out with the card number 33. And here we have card number 28 and card number 20 upside down. So here we have the earth element, card number 28, and then we have the tall whites, card number 20. And there is something here that is being guaranteed, that something that used to be reliable, normally the card looks like this, right? Very stable, solid energy, reliable energy. But in reverse, this card is talking about that stuff that we have been relying on in the past, back to the moon, in the past is now showing up as something that we can definitely trust not being reliable anymore, okay? Something that we relied on with these relationships, something is turning up as being very distrustful, something is being something with certainty. Normally this is talking about uncertainty and distrust, but this energy of not being reliable, we can definitely trust that will show up, okay? So it's really important to have a look, to have a closer look at all our relationships right now. And since I'm reading for the collective here, it's very important that we as a country, or that we as countries, we have a closer look at whom we are engaging ourselves with at this time, since we can see how much war and conflict that is going on in the world. Who are our true allies here? Because we need to be in balance with those we engage with. Why else would we feel, why else engaging us with those countries if we don't have anything in common? So the cosmic energy here is have a closer look at all of it from every angle, because things are moving fast. There could come something in that is quite exciting. I feel it's exciting, maybe in reverse, but there is something that we relied on in the past that we can no longer rely on, and that's for certain. That will show up when we have a look at every angle on different topics. I feel that there are many topics up right now. When we have a closer look at all of those specific issues, we will find that there is definitely with certainty something that is not reliable any longer, or maybe never have been reliable, okay? So let's pull some cards from the Fairies deck and see what's coming in for us here. What's turning up from the Fairies world? Okay, we have two cards out here. The first card to come out is actually card number 1 from this deck, talking about unity. Yeah, we need to find those relationships that are beneficial for both ourselves and also for the other parties. Unity, true unity. Unity, what a beautiful card. Where we can see also over here, there's like a spiraling up, and there's like this body that seems to be completely in sync with every angle of the energies going on here. There is something in sync, in alignment, and I feel that could over here also be another reference to our light bodies, that sharing our aura field energies with people, that's really the tool to figure out how we feel about people in our lives. So there is an underlining of our aura field, since also we have the sun in Aries, which is all about using our clairvoyant abilities as well, since Aries is pointing to our brain and our eyes. So seeing clearly where we are going in our relationships, seeing clearly also a reference to the first house, that however we are presenting ourselves on the world stage through, you know, our first house, how we are choosing or what choices we make about the sides we want to show in the world. How do we want to show up in the world? What do we choose to show other people? That would be the response we're getting to all of that now during this full moon in the 7th house. The other card coming out with card number 1 is card number 56. Normally it looks like this. And it is talking about here that we need to, it's coming out in reverse, but it's talking about here self-pity maybe. Oh, why me? Why do I have to be treated like this? What am I going to do about it? So I feel that this is actually an escape route. This is like moving on, moving out of those relationships where you feel that you are being overlooked and no one is listening to you, where it's all just leading to maybe gossip, but I feel this is a way out of all of that. So there will be a way open, something opening up here to have a cleanse out emotionally in these relationships, since the water is also the moon is also pointing to our water, and the water is a reference to me, to our intuition, our feelings, and our connection with remembrance. So there is an escape route out here. There is, for those of you who want out, you can move out. For those of you who maybe need to speak to someone about this, there is also some kind of opening to this. But I also definitely feel that for many relationships, this could be the end of it, because for many people now, they find out that they may not be in unity. They may not be in unity. And this is a full moon calling for unity. So we can only keep the relationships going, or keep the relationships in our lives where we do feel in complete and utter unity with each other. The rest of it just needs to go. Okay? So let's see what is presenting itself through the spirit animal world here. Let's see what's coming out here. Let's bring in the animals. And we've had a lot of fish, dead fish coming up lately. The issue of dead fish in the oceans and in lakes, and that could also be a sign that our waters are polluted, also within our relationships, are pointing back to the feelings we have for each other. There is something that is polluted. There is something there that is of a toxic nature. Could very well be a hint to that as well. Definitely we need to have a closer look on how we engage ourselves with each other. So let's see what the animals have for us here. What's coming out from the animal spirit realm here? What is coming out? Okay. We have one card presenting itself. So let's see. Card number 37. Lion spirit. Be generous of spirit. Okay. So this is really about finding a true way to unity, to harmony, to balance in our relationships, okay? We may find that we are a little bit proud here, like the Lion King here. It's very proud, but we can also see how there's a lot of light here, maybe a full moon here, and with a lot of patterns. So maybe we start to recognize, since also the moon is about our routines and patterns, there is something here where we are maybe have been very proud, maybe too proud, maybe we have believed too much in ourselves, maybe we have been in the lower part of our ego, a low vibrational part of our ego, and now it's time to just be generous of spirit, okay? And you can also say that in order to be able to be generous, we need to be generous with ourselves first. So there could be something pointing to some of you out there, maybe, or for some of us, some countries out there, where we really need to start to believe much more in ourselves before we engage with other people, other countries, okay? So this could point in different directions. So for those who have not been showing up through their first house with enough self-belief and courage and with enough self-expression, the line is also about our self-expression, we definitely need to have more focus on that before we can give out, okay? We need to be generous to ourselves before we can be generous to other people, okay? So this is also pointing to creativity, the creative spark, okay? Maybe come up with more creative solutions to whatever may be going on in our relationships, okay? Yeah, the line here is on fire. It's also representing the fire element. Physical action here. Physical action, okay? So I will just move on by pulling some astrology cards, and I will just include these two cards just to see if they're going to show up again. And in the meantime, let's put the line over here before it all falls apart. So, and also 3 plus 7 is a 10, and 10 marks endings and new beginnings, okay? So it could be, you know, endings for new beginnings. So let's pull some astrology cards to see where these cosmic energies and where this lion energy and these fairies energies are showing up in our charts. So this is also where you can check out your own natal chart to see where these energies might show up for you on a more personal level, to receive some more personal answers. Okay, we have one card out. Let's see if there are other cards coming out here. What other cards are coming out? Okay, the last card just jumped out of the deck, so a lot of energy. Let's begin by reading that card first. It was the 6th house coming out here. The 6th house, pointing to Virgo energies, where we have Mercury ruling, but the 6th house is representing the earth element. So a very slow moving energy. Let's put it over here. Where it's very important that we keep also some kind of balance between health and work in our duties. The 6th house is where we find our calling in life. So we can also see how here it's important that we do something with our bodies, that we try to strengthen our health through both physical work, like move into the garden and do some kind of work there, and also to keep for us to be able to keep our daily routines going. In the 6th house we also find a movable energy, a movable dynamic, which means that here we are very much focused to keep things going. So how do we take care of our health so that we are also able to take care of our duties in life? So there is a very fine dynamic here between health and work, finding our calling in life, birthing new projects, both our own but also assisting other people in birthing projects in their lives. So there could be a doctor here, or a nurse, or some kind of therapist, working with the body. So a very grounding energy where we need to take responsibility for how we keep things going in our relationships, how we really feel about that, and how it affects our health. And for those of you where you may have a colleague or a boss where there could be some kind of issue going on, you maybe want to have a closer look at that, and also how that affects your health. So we really need to tend to our health, and also where we have a duty. Which relationships can we not abandon? If we have children, we cannot, of course, not abandon those. If we have, if we live in a place where people in general just depend on us, we cannot just say, well, I'm out, so long, take care, because this is calling for our duties. This is a time where we need to ask ourselves, where do I have a duty in life to stay? Which relationship is calling for that? And which relationships are not? The other card coming out with the 6th house is actually also pointing to the earth element, because here we have the zodiac sign of Taurus. And that is actually also the other zodiac sign where we find the ruling planet of Venus, just like we did with Libra. So Venus is showing up here quite heavily, I'd say. She plays an enormous role right now. We also right now have Venus in its home sign of Taurus. So that could play an enormous role on that. Venus transiting her own zodiac sign. That energy that she has left there may be of some kind of building up later on. It's playing an enormous role, because also there she has met the North Node, which is about where we are moving on with our destiny. And she has also met Uranus, the planet that is capable of making quick shifts, sudden shifts in life, the planet that is coming in to bring us some kind of awakening, sudden changes. So Venus has put a lot of energy in her own home zodiac sign here while she's been in a transit through Taurus. And those energies we are going to pick up on as we are moving forward, also from this full moon. So a very strong underlining of Venus, and also fertility, of course, abundance, new beginnings, being productive. It's a slow-moving energy with the earth, with this earth element, and we are during this full moon moving through the fastest of the 4 elements, which is the air. So there is like this slow building up on abundance, on taking greater care of ourselves, moving into the details through the 6th house. Really have a closer look at things. How are things really being built up in our relationships? Where do we need to take greater care of ourselves? Where is there fertility and abundance? And where do we not find that? Where is it time to have a closer look at where we need to leave, perhaps? But definitely prosperity. There are good opportunities here to really build up healthy, strong, creative relationships, so that we can also change directions here in our relationships. If there is something here that has not been satisfying, that has not been supporting us, things are coming out in the open now for a productive, abundant talk or dialogue about that, so that we make sure that we are in tune with our duty in life, our calling in life, and that we are taking greater care of our health, that we are not just putting up with staying in relationships where things are just really just wearing us down. No, We need to have everything out in the open. So let's have a look at what is being karmic. What is karmically going on here? Is there something here we need to have a closer look at? Is there something that we have been repeating? We just now come to an end. Let's see what these cards say about that. Is there an issue, specific theme during this full moon, maybe of a karmic nature? Let's see what's coming out from this card deck. We have one card out. Let's see if there are other cards coming out. Okay, we have this Celtic cross. So this is also talking about the cycle of life, that what we are moving through, yes, we may have been through that before. It's the cycle of life. There is something returning to us perhaps. And there is also something here we may have to leave finally, once and for all. We've been taking another round in the wheel, the big wheel of life. But I also hear big wheel of fortune, big wheel of abundance, of love and harmony. There is something that is bringing us back maybe also to the importance of stones vibrating, the aura of stones bringing us back in time, remembrance opening up here. But the wheel is spinning for us here. I feel that things are moving again back to the Merkaba over here. Things are moving, things speeding up. The circle of life is speeding up for us. We have a great opportunity here to really make closure. So let's pull some tarot cards to see if we can have a little bit more specific information out on this. What could this also be about? What is this also about? Let's see if we have a few cards coming out here. So it's very much a time of truth where we can count on that there is something unreliable showing up, something that we need maybe to quit, to have a dialogue about. Where do we not feel it's our duty to stay, and which relationships can we absolutely not leave, even though there may be some kind of disagreement going on. We really need to ask ourselves, where do we have our duty in life and where do we absolutely not? And maybe there has been something that's, that has been hidden for us, that we are now ready to realize. Maybe something that we've had, it's like we've had some kind of hunch about this. It's like, yeah, I knew this was coming, but I wasn't sure. But now during the full moon, it's showing up as something inevitable. Okay, we have only one card out from the tarot card deck, and it's a Major Arcana card. And with the Major Arcana, it is about the greater, bigger energies coming in for us. And this is card number 5, the Hierophant. I'll just show you in its upright, normal upright position, talking about inspiration, tradition, family, culture, where we can actually go for the greater advice, the expert. And there can also, of course, be something religious, because this is also the Pope. But in reverse, it's talking about that someone here is leaving tradition, family, a certain culture, is no longer engaging. Or it could be that for some people, they do not want to take responsibility for what they are actually responsible for. Okay, so we are not being very much inspired here. We are very much looking at where do we want out, which tradition, culture, religion maybe, what patterns do we not want to take part in any longer. And for some, they are leaving in a very irresponsible way. They are not taking responsibility for what they are really responsible for. Okay, that's really also a greater energy. Let's put it up over here if we can. So, for some people, they have to leave these relationships. They're saying, you know what, no longer. If I'm not completely in unity with you, with this or that person, I'm out. If I'm not in unity with that kind of culture, tradition, or that way of thinking or communicating, I'm out. I'm not being inspired. And for some, they are leaving anyway, even though they were supposed to stay. Something that we have relied on in the past is now showing up as something completely irresponsible and something that we definitely cannot rely on. So for some, we need to tune into the lion to get some kind of agreements here on the table. Just give out, express ourselves, show up with pride and show up with whom we really are, but also know where or when it's time to change our patterns in life, our routines. And we can see how the lion here is actually looking towards the moon. So everything is coming out in the open. Where have we maybe been too proud? Maybe we're becoming so proud right now that we are leaving relationships where we are really supposed to take responsibility. Okay, so this could point in two directions actually. So let's pull some personal cards to see what's showing up here. What is showing up here? Okay, we have 4 cards coming out. The 2 first cards to come out, they came out together here, so let's have a closer look at them. We have Great Fortune, card number 26, and Sudden Wealth, card number 11, okay? And since we also had a 1 over here with Unity, maybe there is Sudden Wealth and Great Fortune here if we actually choose to talk things out. Or maybe it could be that, yeah, maybe there is both Great Fortune and Sudden Wealth in talking things out. And if we can't do that, there will also be Great Fortune and Sudden Wealth in leaving. Maybe. But there is Great Fortune and Sudden Wealth coming in here. Okay, so since we had only 1 card from the tarot, and we don't have anyone, you know, it's a greater energy coming in, so I cannot see whether this is affecting, you know, our monetary system, or if it's about accommodation, or whether it's about the stock markets. I can't see that, but it's just Great Fortune and Sudden Wealth, okay? And since we have with relationships here, since we're dealing with that right now, and communication through Libra energies and finding balance, I feel that it's very much in our way of seeing things, understanding things, communicating things, that will bring us Great Fortune and Sudden Wealth. Maybe there are openings to start to see things in a different way, to start communicating in a different way. A lot is coming in here, but the Wheel of, it could be also the Wheel of Fortune here, or the Circle of Life. Something is changing, something is becoming more abundant where it is supposed to be abundant, and where it's not supposed to be abundant, it's going to be abundant anyway. I mean, if we are leaving a relationship that is not, that where we do not feel great abundance and sudden wealth, we are leaving that situation or that relationship, and that will actually perhaps for some benefit those persons quite a lot. And then there is another group, those who choose to leave where they actually have an enormous responsibility. Okay, people want out, maybe where they're not supposed to choose that way, but we also know in life that sometimes things happen, things that are not meant to happen, or that we have never thought would happen, something that we have believed to be of a reliable character forever. All of a sudden, all of that shows up as something deeply distrusting and of an unreliable character. Okay, so sometimes things are not, we don't feel things are playing out the way they should. No, but this is about opening up to the bigger picture of things. Okay, and rectifying what has not been in balance through Libra, through this Libra full moon. Okay, the next two cards, they came out on their own, and the first to come out is card number 12. We are becoming quite privileged here. Perhaps this is also a reference to the 12th house of the zodiac, where we find Piscean energies. We have come to an end, the 12th and last house of the zodiac, since we have with the first house, since we also have to do with the first house here in this reading. So maybe something is ending. We are finding our way home. We are going through some deep soul transformation here. We are finding the higher calling in life. We are moving out there for a higher cause. We can see how this woman is actually, looks as if she might be leaving or moving deeper into some relationships. Maybe she's engaging more and deeper. So I feel that there is this two-pointed message in this full moon reading, that everything is out in the open and we are not really being shown all the information. I don't have any cards here from the Minor Arcana. So there is just this greater energy of where we want out, where we are not taking responsibility, where we perhaps should, where we are leaving things because we are not being seen or heard. Okay, but there is this feminine energy over this coming out with this full moon. And the last card to come out is card number 31, bad health. Again, back to the 6th house. We really need to take greater care of ourselves. This is also a time of healing with the full moon, the light coming in. We can see how we have opened the window to embracing the light. This could very well be the light of the full moon. Very healing energies coming in whenever we are working with the water element. So a lot of healing is coming in. There's a lot of bad health being rectified. We're coming out to be a more privileged collective, where I sense that the feminine energy with Venus is coming in to assist us much more, asking us important questions like, where do we feel successful? Where do we feel that we have something to say? Where we also feel that it's pleasant to be, actually. And we must not forget that Venus is also about our valuables, our materialistic lives, because she loves to indulge herself, Venus. She loves to smell good, look good, and eat whatever is tasting very well. She is this comforting queen, this comfort queen. She is our comfort zone. But do we feel safe there? The moon is asking us, do we feel secure there? So she's coming in here with some great energies to support us in whatever may feel right for us to do. Maybe it feels right for us to leave over here. Even though we are responsible, we choose to leave anyway. She could be supportive of even that. So maybe some things are falling out that in a way that we had not imagined, and where we are seeing things or people in particular, situations, we see that there is an energy of people leaving their responsibility. They don't want it. And Venus is coming in to say, okay, well, I'm supportive of that too. If that's what you feel, even though you have a responsibility here and you choose to leave anyway because you cannot breathe in it, it's a very difficult situation to be in. And we need forgiveness for that anyway. The privileged lady is coming in to say, okay, unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness. It's okay. Even though we experience that people are leaving the stage where they should have stayed. We do not know the entire greater plan. We do not know the entire story, maybe of why that person is acting that way. So we need to meet each other through being more generous of spirit, okay? Towards those who maybe have too much pride and where we feel, well, they should have stayed to take the burden as well, but they're not, they're leaving. Okay, it's okay, we forgive them. It's about unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness. Okay, that is the only way we can keep peace. If we keep shooting at each other every time we find that there is something of an unjust nature or injustice here, we can go on forever fighting each other. But where we are at right now, we really need to seek peace much more. Also, peace is what we find in Pisces energies. Peace much more. Like 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. When we choose unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness, we can rectify our bad health, okay, on a mental level, and how we are communicating with each other, how we are responding to each other in this 7th house of relationships. So let's finish by pulling a card to see what the blessings are. What blessings are coming in here? What blessings are coming in here for us during this full moon in Libra, April 6th, 2023. Feel very important. How are we being received? How do we receive each other in our relationships? And how do we choose to show up in the world? And I feel that our aura field, back to what I mentioned in the beginning of the reading, our aura field, what kind of energies do we choose to send out there? Where it's not always about the spoken or written word, about the action, but just about sending out our energies, focusing on what energies we want to put out in the world. Okay. We have 2 cards coming out. First card coming out is this. We're finding something right now that we've been looking for. We're finding something that we have been looking for. The other card coming out, yeah, transformation. We're finding transformation through this full moon. The butterfly is representing transformation. Also here, abundance. We can see how there's a lot of gold in these 2 cards. Second card coming out is truth. And we can see how there is this balance here. We have the ascendant and the descendant, and we have the entire natal chart here. So there's a very big focus on now that our soul is being mirrored in the world through the full moon. That has got to do with our ascendant, our descendant. How are we presenting ourselves in the world, and how are we being received? What is the response to whatever we choose to show up with in the world? And we can see how this blue color is cutting through this woman's throat chakra. Again, back to Libra and communication and seeing things from every angle before we speak. This is a time of truth, of balance and harmony. What is the truth in all of that? What is the true harmony? What is the true balance? What is true justice? What is true justice? What is true abundance, fertility? What is the truth about duties? Okay, so it's a truthful moment that we are moving through right now. Maybe we are finding this truth right now, right here. We are finding truth in things, and that is really what will make sure that we always have enough, that there's a great fortune for us to be received here. There is sudden wealth when we find the truth of it all. Truthful relationships. What is a truthful relationship? That is where we feel that we can thrive, where we are being seen and heard, where we find love, and we find that our values are being mirrored through those relationships. That's what truthful relationships are all about. So thank you so much for tuning in here and sharing some of your precious time with me. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I hope that you have been inspired to dive deeper into all of this. Very exciting times. Remember to check out your chart where you have Taurus energies, where you have the 6th house, where you have Libra energies, of course, where this full moon is showing up for you to support you in your relationships, giving you a moment of truth, giving you a time to focus on relationships, and where it's not beneficial for you to stay any longer, or where you need to have some kind of truthful dialogues or maybe discussions, or where you find that things will actually thrive, that you will come much more into unity, that there is movement in that direction, that maybe someone from the past could show up in your world once again. So also a time of excitement, however we want to look at it. So thank you so much. Take great care of yourselves out there, and bye for now.